live the life beyond the boundaries we set on ourselves, to live and to run boundless, to be inspired, to achieve, to overcome the mountaintop in our life. Embrace the journey, become boundless.
All right. Hello, family. Welcome to another episode of the Live Room Boundless podcast show. Today, my guest is a young lady who has been making her mark in the running world and still is making her mark in the running world. And she started at a very early age. And she's a track and field superstar, 2016 Olympian, full-time World Championship team member, 2014 NCAA champion in the 5,000 meter, three-time All-American at the University of Texas Longhorns, and one of the America Elite Distant Runners. So born in Philly, hometown, Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Hope I'm saying that right. And currently, she lives in Portland, Oregon. So family, let's welcome our next guest, Miss Marielle Hall. So Marielle, how you doing today?
I'm good. Better after that intro. That was you killed that one. So thank you. But I'm good, doing pretty well.
And all that. So definitely thank you for taking time out and allowing me to do this today. So everything I just mentioned, your intro, I mean, awesome, as a runner, started at a young age. But as I like to talk about a lot with the people I interview, it's all about the journey, the process, where you got started at. And we all know that life is a journey. So it is a process to get to the place we desire to be at in life. We have goals to reach, dreams to fulfill. So stick up to your process and your life journey before running and life growing up in Philly.
Yeah, I grew up I have an older sister. I'm very close with both my parents, and then we have a pretty small family. So I grew up with sister, cousins, family. Those are kind of my core people, and I had a lot of experiences and in sport and in life kind of through that lens. So that was really my start. I was always very active from a young age.
Okay.
I remember I wanted to be a professional player, which meant just have recess all the time. I had those were my job aspirations. So yeah, that's what I can remember most distinctly about my early process was just really enjoying being outside, running around, climbing things, and just being very close with my family.
Okay, that's cool. So you grew up in a family and athlete, like your parents, siblings, things like that? Oh, no.
No, not really. Yeah, my family don't come from a family of runners. That wasn't really. I didn't really see that growing up, but my parents kind of put my sister and I in anything just to try. My sister did ice skating for a little bit, dance, music, just really just handed everything, but didn't necessarily grow up with my parents playing sports.
Well, so did she kind of, your parents kind of like this guy got into sports, to keep you active, to keep you out of trouble. So they could maybe tire you out once I get home.
Yes, I think multiple things, both my parents worked growing up. So having after school or having some structure kind of was helpful to fill that time and just tire us out. I probably, I just realized that's what they were doing all this time right now, but it didn't seem like that when it was happening.
They didn't know at that time, but we look back on it, you can say, they had a method to their madness.
Yes, it's all adding up now.
Okay, yes, I know. That's awesome. So how did your passion for running came about?
I'll just say again, I grew up around my sister and
This
then
is okay.
family members, and they were always kind of the influence for what we
Mhm.
did. But running was something that my mom signed me up, but I kind of fell into it and felt passionate about it
Okay.
on my own, like without prompt from other people.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I think that's kind of how I was able to identify that it was something I enjoyed.
Okay. So once you started, when you got like a first taste of running, you just say like, wow, I really like that. And I could do
Mhm.
this.
I just, I remember my first day of practice growing up.
Mm.
That they kind of told us we weren't going to be able to keep up with the front group, and it was going to
Yeah.
be too hard. And I just automatically really wanted that challenge. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I'll see if I can do it. So I was like, I remember just kind of running to the front
Yeah.
and
Wow.
running with another girl who's actually one of my close friends to this day. Like
Nice.
track definitely
Mm.
was a big foundation for our friendship growing up.
Wow.
But yeah, I just immediately felt it felt fun, and I enjoyed the challenge of
Oh.
not really knowing what my body was capable of, or what the next day was going to bring.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So what was your age at that time? We
I was in middle school, like around 10, I would
okay.
say. Yeah.
Okay. Oh man. So you really definitely at a young age.
Yeah.
Um, you know what you wanted to do, and you kept going. And so like, yeah, so that's awesome. It took me a while to find out about running. I really like I fall in love with it.
Yeah, no, it definitely ebbs and flows. I remember in high school, it kind of got a little bit, it took me a while to find my rhythm again, and same thing in college and even professional. So running is just kind of like that. It's always kind of tapping,
Yeah,
sometimes stronger than others,
yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah, it's not the easiest thing to get into, but I think
no,
once you find it,
yeah.
it can be
Yeah.
pretty special.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. I totally agree. Once you find it and when you see where you how it could like really transform you, it's just a special thing.
Yeah.
So definitely. Um, and just going ahead in your running career, what was your experience like for you to represent the U.S. for the first time at the 2009 World Youth Games?
That definitely opened my eyes up to what track and field could be, where it could take you.
Yeah.
Just getting to travel internationally, represent the country, like being an ambassador for girls or sport.
Yes.
Just kind of check so many boxes that, with just running 2 laps at the time,
Yeah.
didn't think that would be possible for something that kind of felt
Yeah.
so so small and so personal, could have all of these ripple effects. So
Yeah.
I don't know, it was fun.
Okay.
I was, I had college roommates and teammates who also made that team for US and for other countries, and we ended up being in the same recruiting class, and it just it's just really fun to look back on, because I'm good friends with people that I was on
Yeah.
that team with.
Yeah.
And it just really opened my eyes up to what the sport was. I didn't really know what kind of where the opportunities were,
Yeah.
and what was out there. But I was just fortunate to have a coach that
Yeah.
really encouraged me, to even try out. Or I didn't even know that was an option in high school until I like met him, and he kind of started spewing those dreams to me. So yeah, I look back on it very fondly, and
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was also scary, and
Yeah. Yeah.
but it was a really great opportunity, and just a lot of fun to be on a team.
Definitely. It's like an individual sports, but definitely it's a team sports also. Like lots of sport. Running is a family. I like to say family. Just for running for the past few years. And this connection that I'm able to make with different runners here where I live at, just to run a family. And just support one another, and just around the world. It's a community. Yeah. And just for you embracing that opportunity, it just really taking a chance, you know, and having a special moment and building a special relationship with the people that, you know, and do running. It's really great. So, yeah.
Yeah, no.
So tell us to live from boundless family, what it meant for you, not for you to not one, but 3 times being an All-American at the University of Texas and have so much success as a running in your college year.
Texas and Austin was a great,
Yeah.
just a great city to live in.
Yeah.
It was a lot of, you know, I felt very grown up.
Yeah.
Going from New Jersey to Texas. It was a really big, I think, just foundational block for myself, and then believing I could be out there in the world doing something that I really cared about and survive. I had a lot of help along the way, and friends and family and teammates, but just getting the opportunity to go out to Texas and kind of just start my journey was fun. And you know, all the same themes of 2009 was it was eye-opening, it was hard, it was it was exciting. But yeah, I can't say enough good things about Austin and the city and just kind of the culture there. It was just fun to be able to put yourself on such a big stage. Austin doesn't have any professional sports teams, so the athletic department at the university kind of is representative of the city. So you know, that was being a part of an athletic department that was really involved in the community and outreach, and just kind of people rallied around our wins, our losses, you know, our hardships. That was fun.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think about the Texas Longhorns, you know, I think about college football, you know, so yes, it's definitely, especially back in the day, the quarterback, I can't remember his name, shame on me, I'm a big football player, I'm a football fan, you know, so yeah, it's a Longhorns football, but but definitely, I guess, running also.
Yeah, definitely Texas is going to be known for its football, but I like to think there were some other pretty great programs alongside them.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, running just right there, you know, so that's good. So after your college years, you know, 3-time All-American and all the success that you have, the relationship that you build, so you went back to Philly. You went back to like a local youth organization for training, more training, and just got being a process of your journey, a life, and that kind of helped you to prepare for your life as a professional runner. Is that true?
Yes, it was. Going from college to professional was a very big leap, and I remember just kind of trying to create as much structure as I could for myself. Training in Philly, still trying to wake up maybe early like we did in college, still trying to fit in, you know, sessions in a way that replicated my college experience, just because I feel like that I was definitely the person that, you know, felt more freedom within routine. Like if I did the things I did, then that would allow me to just kind of relax and feel confident on race day. So I think I was able and got the opportunity to do that in Philly, and was just surrounded by people that I knew really cared about me and were invested in me doing the best that I could and getting the best out of myself. So yeah, it was nice to be close to family again. And it was, I needed the familiarity, I think, to really be able to attack the running and training in kind of a more, a less familiar, that was going to be less familiar, the elevated sense of competition. So it was nice to be surrounded by some things I recognized.
Yes. So we'll talk a little bit more about that local youth organization that, you know, that kind of helped you. And I know you mentioned a bio about it, and then just what they're doing right now today.
Yeah, this is like my favorite story that nobody knows anything about.
Okay, Dave.
So I'll be excited to get on my soapbox for it. But
Okay.
Juventus Track Club, it's an organization started by Derek Thompson.
Okay.
He is from Jamaica originally, played some professional soccer, came over to this country and moved to Philadelphia,
Mhm.
kind of just saw a community in need. And he's a very competitive person, loves athletics,
Yeah.
didn't grow up running, but really got into track.
Okay.
And kind of he was able kind of to cultivate a lot of a distance centered program and distance centered athletes
Okay.
in Philadelphia. And just not everyone who came out of the program was a professional athlete, but a lot of college scholarships, a lot of professional development, dozens of men and women who kind of use distance running as a catapult to create some structure within their lives, and then also get an opportunity to get a free education.
Nice.
So I'm again still very close with my high school and first professional coach, and the people that I trained with at that time. Saw a lot of people go off and run in college and are now working in the city, living, starting their own businesses, and some people in the military. It's just really every sort of service and I think career in that is available. Someone from out of that program that Derek started in Philly. So yeah, it's just a really great testament to what community can do
Yeah.
and what running can do. And
Yes.
it was a really big catapult for a lot of people in Philly, and still is. He doesn't really coach as many high school. He has more professionals now, but
Oh, no.
yeah, it's a really cool story. So I'm glad that you asked about it.
Yeah, definitely. You can't remember where you came from. It's just people who probably don't make the headlines. Who are doing great things, community, who help other people become successful. And so yes, definitely. Shout out to Derek Thompson. The things he's doing up there in Philly. So yeah, awesome. And so with that training, going back to Philly, and then leaving Philly once again, and your professional career taking off. You come from Olympian, a four-time World Championship team member, American Elite Distant Runner. What has life been like being the top or one of the best in your craft of running?
It's been extremely rewarding and very it's just giving me, I think, a lot of tools to work on like all aspects of my life, not just I'm pushed to, I think, just better myself as a person, because selfishly I want to be a better competitor. Like I want to see how fast I can go, and I want to be competitive and strong and gritty, whatever it needs to be on the day. Graceful, who care, like I want to be able to be all those things. And so I think that kind of striving to try and find those results on the track has in turn also made me be like just more explorative about how I can just be a better person. And so yeah, I would say it's been very transformative.
Oh, that's good. I mean, I want to ask you a question. Probably that wasn't part of the question I'm going to ask you, but as a kid, you ever like dream about being where you're at right now? Do you ever dream about this?
I have had like dreams and visions within what I'm doing now, but I wouldn't be able to say like, oh, I definitely saw myself being in Portland, or I definitely saw myself, running this distance, or I definitely saw myself X, Y, and Z. Like, I think maybe I was a bit fuzzy on some of the more intricate details now that make up like what I do, but I do think I always was like very inclined to like want to do something special, or kind of have something that So yeah, I still think could work probably on better defining and clarifying, but I think when I was younger, I always had draws to very intense achievement.
Okay, then that's
Yeah.
awesome. Good had the dream. No good had the dreams. Yeah. So yeah. So how has running impacted your life, or how has life affected your running career?
How has life I'm twofold. I mean, life has I think been a teacher on who I want to surround myself with, what running communities that I are, or I think it's pushed me to see how unique and special the running community is, and you know, it's a lot. It's just kind of basically my own little microcosm for the rest of everything else. You know, it's a big giant experiment. Everything that's happening in the world,
Yes.
to some degree, is happening within the running community, within my running community. So it's just been a good place to kind of practice all these big ideas of how we want to be seen, how we want to treat one another, you know, how we want to what we want to ask from ourselves and from the people around us. It's just been a really good kind of learning ground for just kind of putting those big thoughts and ideas into action. And yeah, I don't know if I answered that, but
that's cool. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know. Cause I know this year was a good year of reflecting. You know, like where I run a lot, it allowed me to slow down a little bit. Kind of like, you know, doing like training for the races and like that. And like a lot of time I go on my runs, I need to stop in the middle of my run and just take pictures of the beauty around me. And I never really take pictures while I'm running before, and I would stop and take pictures. But I've been doing that this year, taking a lot of pictures and stuff like that. You know, I know you live in Portland, Oregon. I know they got a lot of beautiful places. You know, you know, and so it just reflect, you know, on life while running and stuff like that. You know, so yeah.
Yeah, that's very true. I think it's been definitely kind of put me out of my routine where I was like, oh, maybe I'll like try a different trail today, or you know, maybe I'll try and move a little bit slower just so I can see more, and just kind of being more grateful for just the run and not kind of what it gives you. I think just for training purposes, for me, I've always kind of been, you know, depositing miles and workouts so that I can get something out of it. Like I want a nice savings account that, you know, that I can cash in on race day. But there definitely during quarantine and during the year, it's made me just be more just kind of just running.
Yeah. Just run this, you could run for the joy of it.
Yeah.
Running because of the gratitude that you're able to get out and run, you know, and lots of stuff, you know. Yeah. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah, for sure.
So and so as I continue doing my research on you, I realized you recently had an article in Runner's World, and it talked about what you learned from the pandemic as a runner, as a person. Like you read really deep into that, you know. If you can explain a few minutes what was into that article, you know.
Yeah, I think I just kind of like just what we were talking about. We've had some more time and just thinking about how I had maybe thought I was thinking of home and belonging as these kind of more concrete, less fluid ideas, and then that running has provided me just with a little bit better outlook to see that home and belonging doesn't necessarily have to be like a physical thing or something you wear or something somebody tells you. You kind of create it for yourself, and it looks very different for different people, especially, you know, during the pandemic. For some people, having a home was a literal home, and and for other people, have a friend that really gave you the opportunity to vent and just feel settled. And so I just think I found that crossover in made me feel more at home and a little bit more grounded and settled during a time that's just been a little bit all over the place.
Okay. That's good. Now, since you've been living in Portland, Oregon, you're part of the Bowman Track Club in Portland. So how's life in Portland, Oregon, being part of that track club?
It's good. It's common themes run across. It's exciting. It's challenging. It's very it's a tough environment to be in for sure, just because there's a lot of work, a lot of competitive, a lot of really talented and alongside just really great humans. And that's just any working environment that there's a lot of people firing on all cylinders.
Yes.
You're going to be constantly challenged, and that's one of the reasons why I'm here is I do want to know how I can respond to challenges, and sometimes my response looks better than other days, but I am grateful to just kind of have a running clock on the opportunity to do that every week. I've learned a lot from how everyone's individual process. I like to say that the team kind of, we have three coaches, but three official coaches, but over 20 people, men and women combined. So I like to think I have 20-ish more coaches, people I learn from, and people that can kind of just give guidance and instruction, and just kind of just take bits and pieces from different things you identify and things you feel like people do well. And that's been, I think, my favorite part about being here is I'm constantly just like watching other people, and it's fun to see other people develop and evolve. And it's also, I benefit from people that are really good at what they do and have really refined and strong processes for that. So it's really it's a really great just good group of people, and then who also happen to just be really good at running. So
that's awesome. So with all the experience that you have already, you're still pretty young. Do you see yourself as a trainer and train other people or training kids to know how to run also?
That would, I probably, the X's and O's of training aren't like my forte. I'm not, necessarily good at knowing the peaks and the dips and specific metrics, but I really do enjoy community and kids. So I feel like a youth track program would probably be my best bet at being effective.
Okay, that's great. That's awesome to do that. So the kids are great, and just able to really just and you can see yourself a little bit in them, also. And so talk about life challenges. So what have been your biggest obstacles that you had to climb to get over in your young life so far?
I'm not thinking of one specific challenge. I feel like commonly when I feel like I'm fumbling or misstepping, I just have lack of clarity with what I actually want from myself, clear defined goals. I think sometimes I just have the idea of I want everything to work out. I want to be fast. I want to, whatever, make that, but that's not really a clear enough of a vision to to work off of. So I think I definitely have I struggle when I'm kind of let people around me define what they think they think I want, or what they think is possible. And I just have to be sure to take the time and sit down and really ask myself what I want.
Yes.
and setting that clear intention
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily always mean it works out, but it just means that I feel a little bit more excited about that challenge and a little bit more capable in what I can do to kind of break down that goal. If I don't do that, then it kind of just feels like every wind gust takes me with it. I'm just like, maybe I'll try that or do that, or maybe this will work or this won't work. I just am a little bit more malleable, but if I set it for myself, I think I kind of have a little bit more of like a relentless drive that is able to get me places.
So just about like being more specific in what you want to do. And you kind of make that decision on your own and not being persuaded by anybody else, you know? Okay.
Yeah, I think maybe more comes down to just like making a decision about, I think there's goals you can make, like I want to be successful, and then
Yeah.
there's a goal of I want to defining that success. And I
Yes.
think sometimes you're kind of in this rhythm of what is kind of successful markers in the sport of, making a team or running a certain time. And
Yes.
I kind of let those things dominate my definition of the success without kind of taking the time to spend to ask, okay, what do I really want out of this? What's going to really get me up and going, and
Yes.
not be like flimsy under tough circumstances, or I think I have had that happen to me in high school and in college and professionally. I just didn't I was just kind of flimsy around what I wanted, and or how I defined things.
So how was you able to overcome that?
Just sitting down,
Yeah.
pen to paper, and
Okay.
making clear definition. I'll just say, like, my senior year of college, I really wanted to give myself the opportunity to run professionally. I didn't have a ton of, like markers or things that would indicate that, but once that, I was kind of not sure what I was going to do all that summer and early on in the year. And I was like, oh, I'll apply for this job, or, I'll do something else. But like, as soon as I was really like, okay, I'm just going to make this about, I'm going to work as hard as I can to try and give myself the opportunity. And if I do that, if I really frame everything around working towards an opportunity, then I'll be able to, I'll be happy no matter what happens, because I'll know I tried my best and I did what I could, and B, I would have some type of like urgency and path in what I was trying to accomplish. So I mean, like, just really sitting down and pen to paper, or however you record things, or however you set goals for yourself, doing that, and then giving yourself measures or markers along the way so that you can make sure you're holding yourself accountable to that, or have family members that, who will call you up and tell you the truth about how you're, how you're working, or friends, or whatever it may be.
Okay. Yeah, definitely be open to that, but having the specific goals, and I still learning that too, at time, to be specific and things that I want to do, want to achieve, so along my wife, who helped me pretty good at that. So you still kind of find, you still kind of like really learning the process, or you're pretty good at it right now?
Sorry.
Be more specific at setting goals, and really just being like firm in what you want to do. Are you pretty good at it? No. You're still learning. Okay, then.
I'm definitely still learning. I feel like if I've improved on anything, it's that I am at least aware that I'm not doing it how I think it's most effective for me. So I don't necessarily always feel like if I feel like lost or confused, I think I know why, instead of just that feeling
Yeah.
of confusion and just floating out there.
Mhm.
So I think that's the only thing that's, maybe hopefully I'll be learning, my learning curve will be faster soon, but
Yeah. Yeah.
right now I'm just getting a little bit better at identifying it, and just not trying to have it kind of be all consuming, like still being able to work towards something, even if you know that there's like a
Yeah.
few loose screws in there.
Yeah.
Like you want everything to be tightened up and sturdy, but
Mhm.
sometimes you can still get work done, even if it's a little bit shaky. So I
Mhm.
think those are the two things that I've um, gotten better at, I think.
Okay, that's cool. You know, always things to work on, to improve, to learn, always, you know, no matter where we're at in life. You know, so yes. What does it mean for you throughout your whole running career to have the support of your family and friends? What does it mean for you? You know?
It's been extremely instrumental in me still being able to
Yeah.
to train and compete professionally.
Mm.
They have been very important, um, in definitely my support team. I would, they also don't have official coaching titles, but
Mm. Mm.
I would add them to my list of
Yeah.
people who are, just like sounding boards
Yeah.
and offer good advice and guidance.
Okay. Uh, so what keeps you going and striving to be your best, even when life does get challenging, or sometimes you don't want to do it, you know, like feel like, man, you know, like, did I have to do this? You know, or life gets hard. What keep you going?
All different things all the time. I think I get a ton of inspiration from family, like that keeps me going. I get a ton of inspiration from like artists or authors, just like people just providing different contexts and new ideas. That keeps me motivated, and
Mm.
just trying constantly reframing things, and
Yeah.
also just trying to be part of something bigger than myself. It's really
Yeah.
special when there's
Yeah.
people, in the running community and just in the general community that feel, that feel connected to something that I ran, a race that I ran,
Yes.
um, or a place I went to train and compete, or whatever it may be. um, so I really do like the connection aspect of it, and really just wanting to, um, be in just be involved in something bigger. I think
Yeah.
that's always motivating.
Oh, okay then. Um, yeah, people inspiration, you know, and just really just finding something to really, you know, gonna know life going on, bring different challenges. And sometimes you want to stop, sometimes you want to do it, you know, but just find a way to really I got having your why. You know that your why would change over time also.
Yeah.
So, um, so also you talk about things outside your running life, running career. And one of the days you talk about your alter ego. What is that?
Um, I would just say that I've realized sometimes that, I think this goes back to saying what I feel like I've gotten better at is
Yeah.
not everything aligning perfectly in my life and in my running,
Yeah.
and realizing that I can be a separate person on race day, or I can have it figured out on competition day or at practice, and have no idea what's happening, in my life outside of that, or in the world outside of that. So
Yeah.
I think just really practicing versions of yourself,
Yeah.
and then not feeling like you have to be a full completed product every day you go out to try and accomplish something. Like I just, if there's a Marielle that's super confident, then I would rather reach for that person when I need to get something done
Okay.
for racing, and
Yeah.
just kind of realizing that,
Mm.
just like you said, goals and your why evolves and changes.
Yeah.
You can evolve and change,
Yes.
during a really hard workout, or
Yeah.
during a task that you want to complete. So
Okay then. So outside of running, I just want a chance to be just really just a normal, everyday person, doing something like that. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Uh, so we're bringing the most joy, outside of running. We're bringing the most joy.
That's a good question. What brings me the most joy? I'm not sure. I think
What's going to be the most? What one thing that brings the most joy?
yeah. I this is sad.
Well, I watch TV, a couple of
Yeah, I like watching TV. I like listening to music. I like trying new things. I love the ocean. So anytime I can be at the beach or doing something on the water,
Okay.
I really love that. Yeah.
Okay. Did that which is water up in Oregon, in Portland? No.
There is a coast. I mean, the Oregon coast is gorgeous.
Okay.
I don't get to go as often as I would like, but that's a good idea. Maybe I should go check that out sometime.
There you go. I'm glad I can help you out. See?
Yeah.
There you go. See, help you out a little bit. It's all good. It's all good. So right now, I know not a whole lot of things you could do right now because of pandemic we're being stuck. Well, do you have any projects that you're currently working on right now in running, outside running?
Not in particular, just maybe some larger, just big ideas, not anything that I've really narrowed down, but
okay.
Just trying to stay busy as best as I can. Definitely losing a little steam here. Late in the game of a long year, but I'm definitely getting into a place where I'm, no matter what, looking forward to the next, what's next. And but no specific projects or anything.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. Just really to finish up the year strong, but as much you can, and really hopefully, look at your brighter 2021,
Yes, definitely.
Yes, definitely. My next question that I always ask everybody: what is your boundless motivation or thoughts?
Boundless motivation or thoughts. I would say that I really feel inspired by people who are just entrenched in what they're doing and have created space for themselves and have really made me listen and made me change my perspective. So that's kind of what inspires me to have that boundless motivation and insight is just that, there's always things to learn and ways to get better, and just the idea of nothing being stagnant, good or bad, I think just kind of pushes me to keep figuring it out and keep it moving and just try and continue to just take steps forward, even if it looks a little zigzag sometimes. I just feel very encouraged by people that have just kind of continued to find a way. And
so you inspire and encourage and you see other people who are doing things, being impactful, or I want to say something like that. We see other people doing great stuff, and really learning and adapting, or maybe being a difference maker, I might say. So that's cool, like that. So do you have, in your own words, do you have any last few words that you want to leave with the family? Something.
I guess I would just say that it's, I've just been prompting myself to try and not be as, like, I really would love for my work life, like for running to flow also with my family and with my friends and my like, I think sometimes, especially in a year like this, it felt like just trying to compartmentalize everything, like don't think about that, or try and just have this going well, or
Yeah.
keep planning or keep doing these things, and kind of feeling like you're hitting wall blocks when it gets canceled or when it doesn't happen. And I think that that's just a reflection of like when you're kind of making like cookie cutters for everything. And I just would say that I've been trying to challenge myself to just try and feel comfortable with different things overflowing into different pots. And maybe that will help one thing boil faster, or whatever, like that's what I've been trying to do, that is just not be as discouraged by like perceived blocks, or try not put too many walls up within how you live or train. For me, that's my example, but it could be work and or friends or family, not trying to block them off and think of them as distractions or things that kind of bog down, but instead just kind of see how they can inform one another. And hopefully your whole life combined will be something that you're like grateful for and appreciative of, and also just kind of helps you keep moving forward and getting better.
Awesome, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so but thank you, Miss Marielle Hall, for taking the time and joining me.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So for the Live Run Balance podcast, for joining the family. I like to call the Live Run Balance a family, a community, or try and build it. Yeah. So
well, thanks for putting the time into building the community, and thanks again for having me.
Yes, and also thank you, family, for joining me for another episode of Live Run Boundless. Boundless, I might say, living a life beyond the boundary that you set on yourself. So until next time, I see everybody soon. And